second to go live. All right, it looks like we are live on Team Heart, and let's do the recording. All right, everybody, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. You know what part of the world you are coming from. Thank you for hopping on the call today. We are super, super excited and welcome. So in the past 18 months, with everything that is going on in the world, health and immune system has been top of mind for a lot of people. Would you agree? Drop a 2 in the chat if you agree. So many have gone through immense stress with losing their jobs, and for some, closing their businesses, all leading to high level of stress that have potentially affected their health and well-being. So today we have a panel of doctors and a health professional who will give us some insights on how to optimize our biology and strengthen our immune system. And at the end of the interview, I'm going to share with you some insights on how health practitioners are taking advantage of this new breakthrough technology. So my name is Josie Tong. I'm in Sydney, Australia. So I was a nurse. At the age of 46, I found myself completely burnt out. I was a workaholic working as a director of nursing for 17 years. So I'm so glad that I'm here today because I know that's what we're doing now is going to impact many, many people's lives. So I'm so grateful to each and every one of you who made time to be here today. So without much further ado, let me introduce our amazing speakers. So first, I want to introduce Dr. Gail Pearson. She's based in New Zealand. She's a trained anesthetist. And if you're in North America, it's anesthesiologist. Gail has worked in private practice for almost 30 years. And although he's traditionally medically trained, is open to all modalities of healing, especially if supported by robust science. Gail has been with this company for 2.5 years and joined after being blown away by the research behind these products. Our second speaker is Dr. Jocelyn. Dr. Jocelyn Linford is also based in New Zealand. She's originally from the Philippines and did her medicine at the Ateneo University and moved to New Zealand in 1996. Jocelyn has started her own GP practice in 2004 and trained with the Australasian College of Nutritional and Environmental Medicine. She trained with the Institute for Functional Medicine as well and has over 3,500 enrolled patients in general practice. Our third speaker is based in New South Wales. Candice Foy, originally from Canada, was a pediatric physiotherapist for over 20 years before moving to Australia with her family. Understanding the gut-brain health connection, she's been passionate about researching and thus in helping families look at their health holistically. Finding activation with LifeVantage was a game changer this last 12 months for hundreds of people. She's been able to assist incorporating key health strategies for the whole family for immunity, athletics, sleep, quality, and so much more. And so we have, you know, our panelists here, really high credibility and such, you know, caliber. So I want to start our conversation today about a very important topic that maybe a lot of you have not heard about. It's about oxidative stress and why it is important what we talk about it. I've been doing a lot of reading about this topic, and what was profound to me is that oxidative stress, in fact, damages cells, which can contribute to aging and prematurely health concerns. So now I want to ask our first speaker. So instead of me trying to explain what it is, I want to ask Dr. Gail Pearson. You know, I've admired Dr. Gail for a very long time. And in fact, I've learned a lot from her in the last 2.5 years. So Dr. Gail, I'd love you to explain to the audience, what is oxidative stress and why should people be concerned about it?
First of all, thank you, Josie, and it's a delight to be here and to spread my passion and to tell as many people as I possibly can about the ways that they can influence their health and that they have control over their health. Medicine is complicated, the human body is complicated, and it's made up of a lot of different infrastructures, different systems that are interconnecting. And it's really important to know that we still don't know exactly how the body works. We've got a lot of pieces of the jigsaw, but there is still a lot more to come. One of the early ways we looked at aging was the oxidative stress form of aging, and that came around in about the 1950s. And they said, now hang on a minute, when you get oxygen-free radicals, which is actually a normal byproduct of the body's ability to generate energy, sort of like a car you give petrol to and it gives byproducts out the exhaust, the mitochondria make oxygen-free radicals. And those oxygen-free radicals damage cells. And as Josie said, cells become tissues, become organs, and they damage your body. Now, that's okay when you're young because you can deal with it, because in your body you have a special process called antioxidant enzymes, and they neutralize those reactive oxygen species. But as you age, and I don't mean really old, I mean after the age of about 25 or 30, they start to break down those tissues because your ability to create antioxidants becomes less and less and less. So what does that mean? You get an imbalance. And life is all about balance. And so what happens is that we get more oxygen-free radicals, but we get less antioxidant enzymes. So we're out of balance. We have oxidative stress. And we've seen how oxidative stress affects every single system of our body. And these days, especially, we're looking at immunity and oxidative stress. Why is oxidative stress important? Because we're seeing more and more of it and the ramifications of it. Add on to it the environmental problems that we are overlaying it, and we are seeing oxidative stress off the charts, and people are looking for different ways of counteracting this. And I'd like to lead on to Dr. Jocelyn, because she's going to talk to us about how oxidative stress is affecting us and what it does and what's responsible for it.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gail. I, like Ati Josie, have admired you from afar. I have looked at watched your videos online, and I really love how you do it on there. You know, you're my idol. When we talk about oxidative stress, most people would think about smoking, alcohol, environmental toxins, and all chemicals. But what many of us may not know is that free radicals or oxidative stress is actually formed when we have our normal metabolic processes. So when we breathe, when we eat, when we fight infections, you know, everything that the mitochondria does generates free radicals and therefore oxidative stress. So like Dr. Gail had said, we are endowed by a natural antioxidant defenses. And when there's something that disrupts that fine balance, that's when diseases occur. So even when we're sleeping, we still generate oxidative stress. Therefore, we need to be protecting ourselves because it does impact on our immunity.
Thank you so much for that, Dr. Joe. So I can tell you guys, oxidative stress is such an important topic. So you might be thinking, where can I find information on oxidative stress? I want to call Candice Foy, who's going to
Thanks for that, Josie. So yeah, oxidative stress. Wow, that is not something I heard of in my whole training as a physiotherapist. Just never heard it. And until probably about 5 years ago, I heard about antioxidants, but nothing about oxidative stress. So after you finish watching us on here, I challenge you to just jump off and jump onto PubMed and actually, or even just onto Google and just type in oxidative stress. There are like millions of research articles on oxidative stress and why any dis-ease in the body is actually linked to somehow to oxidative stress happening in the body. And like Dr. Gail and Dr. Joe just said, it's an imbalance that's happening in the body. So you have too many free radicals and not enough antioxidants being produced. So you have to reconfigure what that teeter-totter needs to look like. And so just jump on, and even if you Google oxidative stress and any dis-ease that you think of from head to toe, you'll actually be blown away. I know I was when I saw how many, how many diseases, literally disease is happening in the body is linked to oxidative stress. It's like resting, basically. Our bodies are resting. So how do we fight back, right? So yeah.
That is so much great information there. So now, since oxidative stress is such a very, very important topic, there's over 265,000 articles and studies in PubMed.gov about oxidative stress. That's how important it is. So Dr. Gail, you have been reading and learning about oxidative stress in the past 2.5 years. So, or maybe beyond. And as a doctor, can you give us an insight on why there's so many studies on oxidative stress?
Because it's the root cause of everything, Josie. And we're getting to know that more and more and more. As you can see, the number of publications in PubMed.gov have gone up exponentially over the years as we realize that we've actually got to do something about oxidative stress. And might I also add that as well as environmental stresses and the body is producing its own oxygen-free radicals, emotional stress, sleep deprivation can also produce oxidative stress. And a lot of people don't actually realize, and these times especially, people are under financial stress, they are under emotional stress, they're under relationship stress, they might have lost their jobs, they might not be able to see their families. That creates oxidative stress, and that is not good for the body. It actually degrades the body as those oxygen-free radicals start to damage tissues. So this is the way that we are having to go forward to be able to look at health in a different way. And I think it's the way of the future.
So Dr. Joe, I think it's a very, very important topic. So if I went to my doctor, would doctors know about this? Is that a topic that you would have discussed in medical school?
Thank you for putting doctors, on the spot. Well, I went to med school about more than 30 years ago, and unfortunately, there wasn't anything taught to us about nutrition as well as, oxidative stress. But to be fair, these concepts are relatively new. So it's just like, the concept of nutrigenomics just came about in 2001. When the Human Genome Project was finished in April 2003, those two discoveries paved the way to a whole lot of applications, practical applications that are, that everyone is setting up so that we can help. If you look, about 80% of the global burden of disease is that of the non-communicable diseases. And at the rate that modern medicine is going, it's really unsustainable. So if I always say this to my colleagues, we need to keep up. If we were not educated in nutrition or oxidative stress, then we need to find out. And medicine, as being a doctor, really, it's a lifelong study. So I encourage them to join, us.
Wonderful. So thank you so much for that. So let's look at Candace. Many times I've heard you mention to people to search in Google Scholar about oxidative stress and health concern. Can you quickly share about that, please?
So yeah, so basically, like Nick actually even popped in the chat, 265,000 clinical results, all peer reviewed. So that's actually really significant. So hopefully many of you guys know, not everything you read on the internet is true. So go to trusted sources, and PubMed.gov is actually, or .com, sorry, is one of the ones that is like the top of the top of the top. In order to be published on there, it has to be peer reviewed, I believe, 3 times, which means that lots of research can be done. It can be put forward to PubMed, have all the boxes ticked, and still not actually be published on there. I believe there's something like 1 out of 1,000 articles that are actually published on there. So when you actually go on there, you can know that you know that what you're reading has been verified, it's been validated, And it's, yeah, it's like the Bible online for pharmaceuticals, for the doctors to be able to go on and see what the current research is being done. So when you look at oxidative stress on there, it's just mind blowing. It's literally linked to all of, you know, well over 200 diseases, everything you can think of from head to toe, right? And when you think about what's happening is, as Dr. Gail was saying, we've got so many stresses happening from the outside that's actually aging us faster on the inside. And our cells are constantly duplicating. So if we have damaged cells that are being duplicated, we now have more and more and more of these damaged cells in our body. And that is the disease that's happening. That's where oxidative stress is causing that. So if we can rebalance that, if we can learn how to manage our stress, if we can learn how to reduce that oxidative stress in our body and increase our antioxidant production, which is what we're finding has been so effective in what we can do, it just blows me away. I think, you know, for those of you guys who are watching, a lot of you are probably going, you know what, I feel pretty good. And I have a thing that I call false wellness, where people don't even realize they have oxidative stress because they don't have any symptoms. But what's beautiful is that when you actually look at what's happening at the cellular level, at the physiology that's happening in our bodies, it is critical from a prevention perspective that we actually start to address this now, so that we don't end up with those diseases in our body, so we don't end up with those symptoms. So it's that below threshold that we want to be able to manage now, ahead of the game, right? So yeah.
So as you can see, everybody here, you know, drop in the chat 3 if you're learning. So since oxidative stress is a big concern, good thing is there is a breakthrough solution. So I want to ask our panelists today, Dr. Gail, so what would you recommend people do? You know, like it's such a huge problem in the world today.
Well, you know, Josie, they say an ounce of prevention is worth a ton of cure. And so, you know, following on from Candace, even if you feel fit and healthy, it is much better to prevent anything happening to you and to age well than it is to have to scrabble once you've actually got something that's in place. So, you know, prevention is really, really important. How can we counteract oxidative stress? What can we do? Well, there are simple things, and this is not just all about LifeVantage products. This is all about things that are in your control and things that are environmentally in your control. So if you look at the environmental things, sunshine, going out and getting adequate sunshine every day, that increases your vitamin D levels, not so much as you get cancers of your skin or anything like that, but sunshine is actually a really important thing, as is fresh, clean water, which is unpolluted and doesn't have heavy metals in it or anything like that. Clean air, unpolluted air, that what you're breathing in is going through your lungs and you're passing on really nice oxygen molecules that can get to your system and can feed your cells. So those are sort of the environmental ones. Your personal ones that you do have control about, things like exercise. It's been shown in studies that if you do mild to moderate exercise every day, you can actually increase your immune system, specifically your T lymphocytes. So exercise is very important. Diet. We all need good diet. We need the micronutrients that come in a varied diet to be able to support the body processes that take place in our body. The biological processes that might only need a tiny little bit of a mineral or a vitamin, but are absolutely paramount for maximum functioning of that type of either a protein manufacture or an enzyme manufacture. The other one that a lot of people forget about is sleep or rest. Good sleep is actually really, really important. And so those are the 6, what I call the 6 doctors to start off with. And what excites me the most is that we now have a 7th doctor. And that 7th doctor is Nrf2 activation. And you might say, I've got no idea. Well, I tell you what, I had no idea about it until 2.5 years ago either. There was nothing I learned at medical school or anything like that. And I certainly didn't know anything about oxidative stress. But I started to look at the scientific papers that was behind Nrf2 activation. And I thought, boy, this is looking at it in quite a different way. And we need to actually take heed of this. This is new and this is exciting. Let me tell you a little bit about what Nrf2 is. It's actually a protein that's within a cell. And normally it's attached near the cell wall in the cytoplasm. The cytoplasm is that jelly sort of like structure that's sort of outside the nucleus. It's attached to a protein called a keep protein. Now, when you stimulate the Nrf2 pathway, what happens is that protein dissociates from the keep, goes through a series of complicated chemical reactions, and I'm not going to go into those today, and it goes into the nucleus. And in that nucleus, what it does is it's a gene regulator. So it tells those genes, for example, anti-inflammatory genes, they tell them to switch on so that you actually get functioning genes which were switched off or have gone off to sleep over the years. Then that goes back out to the reactive oxygen species, makes antioxidant enzymes. All of a sudden, you are actually reducing your oxidative stress. Now, what got me the most is that they did blood tests on a group of people from age about 30 to almost 80. They did test day 0 and test day 30 and had them on Nrf2 Protandim for 1 month. Didn't matter whether you're 30 or whether you're 80, your oxidative stress levels reduced by 40% when you're 80 or if you're 30. So that means that we can get people who are even older to be able to get back to a lower oxidative stress level. What does that mean? That means less cell damage, slower aging, turning back the clock. I mean, it's not going to make an 80-year-old back into a 20-year-old, but, you know, maybe they might be able to do things that they couldn't do before and have more energy and to be able to do things that they really want to do. So to me, that's why I fell in love with this Nrf2 activation. It's a whole new way of looking at things. We know that antioxidants aren't great for us. We know that we have to do something about it, and activating the Nrf2 pathway is an amazingly effective and easy way of doing it. And when you do it naturally, the boxes all ticked for me.
Wow. So guys, make sure you understand those 7 doctors, okay? 7 doctors. And we have a Facebook group called My LifeVantage Story. So make sure that you hop in there. If you're not connected to the group, talk to the person who invited you here, because we've got a lot of information there. So I want to talk to our doctor, Jocelyn, who's seeing patients, actual patients. And so how has the, your knowledge on activation and oxidative stress, how has that changed the way you do your medical practice?
As a doctor, I'm not only there to treat my patients, I'm there to educate them. And a whole lot of that is bringing them into what you know in terms of the latest advances in medicine. So more about education for me and telling them that, like what Dr. Gail had said, the body has the capacity to heal itself, but you have to get those 6 doctors in. Do the basics first. So not because your cholesterol is high that you need to take the statins. No, you need to start with your diet first, your lifestyle, your sleep, reducing your stress levels. So for me, educating my patients is part of the way I practice medicine.
And so what about Candace? I know you've seen hundreds and hundreds of customers, being the top enroller in Australia. So can you walk us through that process so that people who are watching here today can learn about the customer program?
What do you mean exactly by the customer program? Just how to...
how do you educate people on the solution and,
okay.
about the customer program?
Right. So, sorry, I was just following along and I was like so absorbed in what you guys were saying. So good. I love the 7 doctors. That's fabulous. So, so here with Team Heart, what we have is we have literally an organization of people that lead from the heart. We want to just help you to literally get up off the sidelines and back into the life you were created to live. And so how do we do that? Well, we have a Facebook group called My LifeVantage Story. And so if you're not already in there and you're watching this, please reach out to the person who invited you and they will invite you and add you in there. There's over 35,000 people in there. It's a beautiful community of people who have literally had life-changing testimonials from reducing their oxidative stress over a long period of time. This is not a magic pill. This is not a quick fix. This is not going to, happen in 5 minutes after you take it, or even a few days. Sometimes it takes, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months to actually feel the difference that might be happening. So it's important to think when you start on this, that it's taking 1 month for every decade that you've been on the planet, so that you're slowly able to actually redo what's happening at that cellular level. And like we were saying earlier, you may or may not feel the difference, but the key thing is, we know from blood work, we know from studies that have been done, that your oxidative stress is being reduced in your body, which is always, always, always going to be a really good thing. So getting plugged into that group is going to be really powerful for you to be able to just have a little read through, do your own research, and have a look through what other people have actually experienced on this product as well.
So there you go, guys. I hope you're learning. So drop in the chat 5 if you're learning. So let's hop on to the topic of immune system. So it's been at the forefront of people's minds, particularly in the past 20 months. So I actually did a search on Google, Mr. Google, and he gives me 311 million results. So people are writing about it, thinking about it. And so my question to our panelists is, does oxidative stress affect our immune system, and why can we do about it? So let's head over to our panelists, and we'll start with Dr. Gail.
It sure can, Josie, because our immune system is just one of the many facets of the bodily systems. You know, a lot of people don't know, but the biggest organ in our body is actually our skin. And that's often where we get the first signs of oxidative stress, or it could be poor sleep, it could be brain fog, it could be low energy, it could be just not feeling to be able to get through the day. Those are the sort of things that people often feel when they've had oxidative stress. And like Candace, I've been amazed at some people who find that they get results very, very quickly, and other people who don't feel anything. And I know that they are better, and when I look at them, they look better, but maybe they just don't get it. What I want to talk about in terms of immunity is the Nrf2 activation. And I know that Dr. Jocelyn and Candace are going to talk about a couple of other products. But this company has put together an immune stack, which consists of the Nrf2 Protandim tablet. Look, that's it, a little yellow tablet, okay? And you know, what I love about it is it's natural. It's got in it 5 ingredients: turmeric, which we know is a great anti-inflammatory; milk thistle, which is a really good liver cleanser; ashwagandha and bacopa, and they've been used for centuries in Ayurvedic medicine for mental clarity, hormonal balance, focus, and also green tea, which we know is a great antioxidant. So what they did is they put them all together. And, you know, New Zealanders are a pretty imaginative bunch, and we always like to do it ourselves. And I've had so many people say, haha, I've got the recipe now, I'm going to go down to the chemist and I'm going to do it all myself. And I'll just get all those 5 and just go and have it. But in actual fact, the study that they did on it, the particular concentrations, it's 18 times more effective than the individual agents alone. So taking this tablet stimulates the Nrf2 pathway. You can take it out of balance, and it's not going to do the same stimulation to that pathway to reduce oxidative stress that we know that what this can do. So Protandim Nrf2, it's just so easy, and it's for people who run busy lives. To me, it's a simple solution, and it fits in with that 7 doctors, and it's so important that we start to do that.
Wow, isn't that amazing? We've got a panel of experts here. So Dr. Jocelyn and Candace, you go ahead and talk about daily wellness and ProBio.
We have the daily wellness to add to that immune protection. So if you look at it, you would see there are 5. So what we say is 5 to thrive. That's the one. Thank you. So you might think that, you know, why are there only 5 ingredients? But sometimes less is more. So these 5 ingredients are meant to support the 3 legs of our immune system. So the barrier one, the innate one, and the adaptive one. So Dr. Gail has touched on those things, and we need all of those to work together to protect our immune system. So we've got the vitamin C. Everyone knows it's an antioxidant, but what it does is it also helps strengthen that skin, the biggest, you know, organ of our body, by virtue of supporting the collagen framework. the vitamin D. I call it, when I explain this to my patients, I call it the conductor in a symphony orchestra. So it may be called vitamin by the people, but it is actually a hormone because it activates lots of other processes in the system. So no matter how good your violinist is, how good your pianist is, how good your trombone player is, if you don't have the conductor that tells you when and how to play, there's not going to be any harmonious music. And it is also very important here in New Zealand and Australia, because as well as the ones in the North Pole, because we don't get as much sun as the others in the equator do. So there's about, in New Zealand, there's about 50% of the population have vitamin D deficiency. And that's not really good, because if you think of it as influencing lots of other processes in the system, then you're losing your battle. So the next one is the zinc. We've got 10 milligrams of zinc there. The zinc is very important. You may think it's a micromineral, but it activates, it's part of enzyme systems that are responsible for producing about 300 different proteins. So it's really very important. We've also got the elderberry, 200 milligrams of that, and we call this a multivitamin inside a multivitamin. So it has, by virtue of the anthocyanins in it, it serves also as a prebiotic. The last component of it is the whole yeast ferment. You know how we say our diet will provide us prebiotics and then we take probiotics? Now, the whole yeast ferment is a postbiotic. So where we take the prebiotics and the probiotic to get the postbiotic, because that's where the good things come from. So it is very important. There may only be 5 there, but they are packed, you know, with all the goodness.
Amazing, Dr. Jo. Daily Wellness, guys. You can order this globally, 220 countries. Candace?
All right, guys. So I get the opportunity to talk about ProBio. So ProBio is amazing. It is the best probiotic I have seen on the market, literally. And the reason is because it has a slow release capsule. So I don't know if you can actually see, but this actually is incredible technology. So there's lots and lots of probiotics on the market. Drop, you know, whatever we're up to, a 6 in the chat if you guys have had you know, the opportunity to take a probiotic before you came on and started taking ProBio. It's just amazing. And the reason is because it doesn't have to be stored in the fridge. It has an incredible content that I'll share about in a minute. But the key thing is it has a slow release technology, which means it goes all the way down and it's delayed release. So it's actually going to go all the way down to the small and large intestine where it needs to get. So you're going to have well over 60% being fully absorbed in the small and large intestine, which is where our gut health, that microbiome actually needs to flourish, where it needs to be repaired. And we know that there is a massive connection between immunity and our gut health. There's also a massive connection between brain health and gut health. If you look at inflammatory conditions in the brain specifically, they are directly linked to the gut. It has been unbelievable to see what's happening in the gut is directly linked, literally, to how our immune system functions and to how our brain functions. So of all of them, you know, this is absolutely imperative to reduce your oxidative stress. And this, I would say, in my opinion, is the number 2, because we need to deal with our gut. So, and the ProBio is actually synergistically designed to work alongside our Nrf2 and Nrf1. So as we're reducing the oxidative stress and we're healing the gut lining, we're actually able to better absorb our nutrients. We're able to improve our metabolism. We're able to improve, you know, things like cholesterol and stuff that's happening in our body that's out of balance, because we're dealing with the root cause of what's actually being triggered with poor gut health. And we know, like these guys were saying earlier, right? We have so many stresses that are happening in our body, whether it's environmental, whether it's, you know, the water we're drinking or the food that we're eating or the processed food or the fast food. all of this is actually coming in and inundating us and damaging our gut. So we need to really make sure that we're going in and we're not just paying for probiotics that we think are a good idea, but actually getting something that actually is going to do what it's designed to do. And that's exactly what ProBio does. It's I just love it. It's amazing. And I've been studying gut health for over 10 years. And this is literally the most amazing thing to support healthy digestion. You don't have to have poor gut health in order to take it. Just as a little disclaimer, there's so many benefits ongoing that we don't know what we're being inundated with. So to continue to take it is actually just part of one of my key health strategies that I encourage my whole family, as well as, you know, all the customers that I'm helping as well, to be able to understand why it's so critical to actually look at dealing with this on a day-to-day basis in terms of maintenance and prevention as well.
So for you guys, you know, our audience, you might be thinking, how do we access these products? You know, how can we become distributors of these products? So I just want to very quickly go through why LifeVantage and why now. And so the four of us, all doctors and health professionals, we are part of this great revolution. And so the timing is everything. You know, the world has changed. People are looking for options. People are looking for health and wellness products. So what if you could be part of that movement to share with people these amazing products that can help their health? And so I talk to people about the business because I'm a single mom. And what I want to do is to be able to share with people how they can do this from home as well. And so the timing is everything. And so LifeVantage, we are still in the innovator space. You know, we will be going to the $1 billion a year for sure. And so there's so many people around the world that have not heard of our company or our products. So I'd love you to really check this out for sure. Because you know what? The wellness revolution is well and truly here. There's so many people that are looking for options for their health. So there's a rise in the health conscious consumer. So everywhere you see there's organic food, there's health and wellness store, there's fitness, etc. And so there is a huge future in the wellness industry. And what's cool about it is that you don't have to purchase, you know, like truckloads of products. So talk to the person who invited you here and they can show you exactly how you can be part of this. And so there's a lot of changes in the workplace. People are losing their jobs. People are losing their businesses because of the last 20 months. And so I know for a fact there's a lot of people that have opted to leave work. And so what is available out there, we have something right here for you. And so we have a system, and that is so important. So imagine, you know, joining a team where we have everything done for you. It's literally a turnkey system. And this is what I share with new people. Like you don't have to reinvent anything. We've got everything for you. We've got our website, we've got our launch guide, we've got our weekly training, we've got our leadership academy. We have everything. The leaders that have put this together have got a lot of experience. They've actually got results. And so over $150 million in team revenue in the last 20 years. So you're looking at experience here and a system that can take you, you know, to a business where you could literally replace your income, or if you're looking for something that is just a little bit. So we have busy moms, busy parents. So if you're wanting to work from home, this could be an option. We have got a lot of fitness and wellness coaches as well. And we have got healthcare professionals like Dr. Gail, Dr. Joe. And I'm really so, you know, like for me, when I heard there's over 1,000 doctors that are actually involved in LifeVantage, I know because of the science behind these products. And of course, you know, we've got our equine enthusiasts because our products can help with dogs and horses. And we have 6-figure influencers. So it's not, you know, people that are business owners. We've got Beata there, she's a CEO. And of course, we've got a lot of network marketing professionals that have decided to make LifeVantage their home. And so we are so excited. We've got a lot of millennials, we've got a lot of baby boomers, we've got people of all ages. They're actually jumping into here because there's just so much opportunity. It's literally a business in a box. And so we've got an app. I literally build my business on my phone and my messenger and social media. So our vision in the next 10 years is that we have 1 million users of the Protandim Nrf2 synergizer and our other cutting edge products. So to build a $20 million a month team is our vision, and it will pay out over $10 million a month to you. So we have got the highest payout in the industry. It's about 48%, and to help over 1,000 families become debt-free and fully autonomous. So how do you get started? You can choose the products that you want. You can be a customer. We've got a customer program, or you can become a distributor. We actually are expanding, and we're opening in the Philippines as well. So really, there's so much opportunity here in Team Heart. And so I would like now to ask Dr. Gail, Dr. Joe, and Candace, to share why you have chosen to partner with LifeVantage. So let's start with Dr. Gail.
Josie, it was the science that won me over. And when I saw that this was a company that was at the forefront of nutrigenomics, that's nutrition affecting your genetic structure, where they were the first ones and the only ones still that can make your body produce its own antioxidant enzymes. Nothing else is comparable on the market. And they are continuing to look at different genetic pathways. They're continuing to look at nutrition. They're ahead of the ball game, and no one knows about them. And I think, why not? Because they have got such a great heart, they have got great vision, and they have got an amazing scientific team who is keeping up to date, if not ahead of everybody else. And that's why I decided, yes, please.
Well, we are so blessed to have you in LifeVantage and Team Heart, Dr. Gail. So, Dr. John?
I would say amen to all that Dr. Gail had said. So, she's covered it all. Me being trained in functional medicine, it just struck that chord with me. It resonated with me. So the concept of supplementation is something that belongs to the 20th century. We have moved on to the concept of systems medicine, where we target the mechanism that causes the disease. So it won't matter what symptoms you have. It won't matter what diagnosis you were given. If we can fix the mechanism that is up there, it's upstream medicine. We can we can correct that malfunction that causes all those that we can find downstream. So I would like you to think about it as a switch. When you decorate for Christmas, you put the Christmas lights on your Christmas tree. So you only flick one switch. And in our case, that's the Nrf2 activator. So you flip one switch and hundreds of lights on your Christmas tree come alive. That's the way of the future.
Much for that, Candace.
Wow, what else is there to say? Oh my goodness. Love the analogy of the Christmas tree. Oh my gosh, that's such a great visual. I love that. It's just so accurate. So I would say, for me personally, over a year ago, I was introduced to this, and it almost seemed too good to be true, to be honest. And so I just went, is this really possible? Can it really do this? So I did. I dug into the research, like Gail is saying. I looked at the company and went, oh my goodness, this actually is the top of the top of the top. This is it. This is what we've been looking for in healthcare, in medicine for years, to do exactly what Dr. Joe was just saying, to actually deal with the cause of what's happening in the body, so that we can actually fix that. And then you see the ripple effect that happens around that. And so as a physiotherapist for over 20 years and working with kids specifically and helping families get healthy, being here in Australia, not being able to practice as a physio, I decided to retire. I just couldn't get away from it. I had to come back because I'm just so passionate about helping people understand that they actually have in their hands the capacity to change their lives, that they don't have to be just walking out the cards that they've been dealt, or, the medical history that they've been given from their parents or their grandparents, that they actually have, just like Dr. Joe was saying, the opportunity to flip that switch. And it's super, super simple. Like Dr. Gail explained at the beginning, it's 5 herbs, but it's a synergy between those 5 herbs that allow that switch to get flipped on in your body, for our body to actually produce millions of antioxidants per second in order to balance out the masses, millions, trillions, septillions of free radicals that we're actually trying to balance. And you can't eat your way to that same result. No matter how many blueberries or bottles or glasses of red wine or, antioxidant therapy you can have, you can't get the same results. One little yellow pill, one little Protandim is the same as 120 vitamin C's a day. So when you think about the simplicity of what we have here, it's just incredible for every single person on the planet to be able to reduce their oxidative stress. And it also works in dogs and in horses. It's mammals. We all are producing oxidative stress from the moment we're born and start to breathe. We literally, it's a byproduct. We are creating free radicals. So how do we naturally do that? LifeVantage has the solution. And I'm so honored and just proud to be amongst these incredible women who just lead from the heart and just want to share for people to literally just live life better and have more life in their days, really. So thanks so much.
Well, thank you so much for that. So guys, make sure you get back to the person who invited you here so we can show you how to get started on the products or the business if that's what you want. So let me just turn off the recording now. We'll do a quick draw because we've got a training happening here now.